Last week, I promised I'd share exactly how I managed to increase my HRV, taking it from consistently low and unbalanced to trending upward and sitting in a much healthier range. So today I'll explain what HRV actually is, why it matters, especially for us as runners and active people, what I did to improve it, the 4-7-8 breathing method and the science behind it, and how this ties into the last 3 midweek episodes. Because this isn't just about recovery, it's about building a full recipe to stay running faster for longer. So what is HRV? HRV stands for heart rate variability. It's a variation in time between each heartbeat. Now here's the interesting part. A healthy heart does not beat like a metronome. You don't want it ticking evenly like a clock. You actually want variation between the beats. That variation tells us how adaptable your nervous system is. Higher HRV generally means better recovery, better stress resilience, stronger parasympathetic, which is the rest and recover activity. Lower HRV can indicate stress, poor sleep, overtraining, illness, and mental overload. Most wearables measure HRV during sleep because that's when we can best see what your nervous system is doing without outside noise. Now you may ask, is there a healthy HRV number for my age? The answer is no. HRV is highly individual, just like resting heart rate. So the actual number matters far less than people think. One runner's normal might be 35 milliseconds, while another is 75 milliseconds, and both can be equally healthy and fit. What really matters is your baseline and the trend over time. If your HRV is constantly within your normal range, your system is likely to be coping well with training and life stress. If it tends above baseline, that often signals strong recovery and good adaptation. But if it drops below baseline for several days, it is a sign your stress load from training, work, poor sleep, or lifestyle is exceeding recovery. Don't chase someone else's number. Pay attention to whether you're above, within, or below your established baseline. But why does HRV matter for runners? If you listen to the last 3 midweek episodes, you'll know we've been building a framework. We talked about doing intervals properly and how intensity only works if you've built the right solid aerobic base for a solid foundation. And we covered strengthening the body and more specifically the feet for better force production and durability. But here's the thing, you cannot adapt to training if you don't recover from training. HRV is the missing link. You can build your aerobic base, nail your intervals, strengthen your body and feet, but if your nervous system is stuck in fight or flight mode, you won't absorb that work. That's when progress stalls, that's when injuries creep in, that's when fatigue becomes chronic. So improving HRV isn't optional, it's foundational. Balanced or higher HRV indicates that you are in rest and recovery mode. This results in good sleep where you properly cycle through all 4 sleep stages. This is where the release of hormones happens and the body gets to work repairing and rebuilding. It's where adaptations happen and you can come back stronger. What was happening to me? My Garmin HRV chart clearly indicated my HRV was sitting low. It was unbalanced. It wasn't trending upward. I wasn't overtrained. I was under-recovered neurologically. I then implemented the game changer, 4-7-8 breathing. The biggest shift came from something incredibly simple. The 4-7-8 breathing method developed by Andrew Vail. Here's how it works. Inhale for 4 seconds. Through the nose deep into the belly. Hold for 7 seconds. And exhale slowly for 8 seconds. Repeat. Keep your mouth closed. Breathe through your nose. I committed to at least 10 minutes before sleep. Shorter sessions during the day when time allowed. And anytime I noticed stress rising, and the change in my HRV graph was undeniable. It clearly shows how my HRV started climbing steadily into balanced and increasing. The improvement was immediate and directly as a result of the new breathing regime, along with a few other simple changes or lifestyle adjustments. What's actually happening? The science behind why this breathing works. This is where it gets interesting. We have two main branches of the autonomic nervous system. The first is the sympathetic nervous system. This is your fight or flight, where your heart rate is elevated, you produce stress hormones, and you're alert. And the other is the parasympathetic nervous system. This is rest and recovery, a lower heart rate, digestion, repair, and adaptation. The key player here is the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve connects the brain to your heart, lungs, and digestive system. When stimulated, it activates the parasympathetic nervous system. Slow, controlled breathing, especially with long exhales, stimulates the vagus nerve. Here's why. Slow breathing increases baroreceptor sensitivity, which is the blood pressure sensors. Long exhales increase vagal tone. Holding the breath increases carbon dioxide tolerance, which improves oxygen efficiency. The overall effect shifts the body from sympathetic dominance to parasympathetic activation. In simple terms, you're telling your body, I'm safe, you can stand down now, relax and repair. And when that happens consistently, HRV improves. The other changes that improved my HRV. Breathing was the catalyst, but it wasn't the only factor. The first other adjustment was nutrition, avoiding heavy meals close to bedtime, cutting back on sugary foods at night, reducing caffeine and implementing a midday cutoff, and cutting out alcohol, prioritizing whole foods, and staying hydrated. Late meals and sugar spikes elevate the heart rate during sleep and suppress HRV. Second adjustment was sleep protection. Here I highly recommend watching the two interviews I did with sleep specialist Katrina Aubrey. I'll link them at the end. From those interviews, I learned to have an earlier pre-bed wind down, no screens right before bed, consistent sleep time, and other valuable sleep hygiene routines. Third was training awareness. Overtraining tanks your HRV. More isn't better. Better is better. If your HRV trends downwards for several days, reduce intensity, swap intervals for easy aerobic work, or take a rest day. HRV gives you permission to recover before breakdown happens. The fourth adjustment needed is stress management. Life stress counts. Work stress, family logistics, mental load. Your nervous system doesn't separate physical and emotional stress. Stress is stress. In fact, good college coaches treat athletes' exam schedules as if they are workouts and plan recovery around them. Exam, mental and emotional stress is stress to the body, just as is physical workout stress. The bigger picture. Let's connect the dots. To run faster for longer, we need a strong aerobic base, properly executed intervals, strong and resilient body and feet, a recovered nervous system. HRV is the recovery metric that allows the other three to actually work. You can't build speed on a burnt out system. What can you expect to notice? Improving HRV will allow you to wake up feeling more refreshed, your easy runs feel easier, your intervals feel more controlled, you'll recover faster between sessions, and your mood will be more balanced and stable. It's not just performance, it's quality life. So what are some practical takeaways? If you want to improve your HRV, start with a 4-7-8 breathing tonight, 10 minutes before bed. Avoid late heavy meals. reduce sugar before sleep, respect your downward HRV trends, and remember, recovery is training. Small daily nervous system deposits create big long-term adaptations. And here's my final thought. Fitness isn't just about how hard you can push, it's about how well you can recover. Build the base, strengthen the body, and in particular your feet. Execute intervals properly and protect your nervous system. That's how we stay running faster for longer. If this episode helped you, share it with someone who trains hard but forgets to recover. It will certainly help me to continue bringing you top-notch insights from experts and inspiring athlete stories. Just like the episode due to release in 3 days from now, where I speak with a mattress testing expert who helps us understand our individual needs when it comes to ensuring we have the right mattress to maximize our recovery. And remember, recovery is training, so do it right and don't neglect it. Here are the 2 super helpful sleep specialist Katrina Aubrey episodes. Choose one and watch it now. Better still, watch them both. If you found this helpful, please subscribe and tap the notification bell